is something very, very old-fashioned, which is absolutely not the case. If you think to 100 years ago, people who were gentry wrote poetry, and things have changed a lot. Now poetry is something for the public, something for the people. So nowadays a lot more people write poetry than ever did. Poetry is flourishing in this country, and it's thanks to people like librarians that poetry does so well. I mean, I'm sure there's a good stock of poetry book in this library, isn't there?
Definitely.
People have more leisure time. They also have a better education. So that's another reason why poetry is so popular in this country. And as I say, it's more popular than ever. 12 years ago we started running a really big free poetry competition, and we were absolutely amazed at the number of entries we get. That was the National Poetry Anthology, and in that we selected 250 regional winners, put them all in a vote, gave them a free copy of the book. Then they voted for the best poem in the book, and that person we gave £1,000 to. That did so well that 6 years ago we started another free poetry competition. We call this the local poetry competition. The idea was that we would encourage people to write something about their home environment, and we feel that poems that come from personal experience can have a ring of authenticity which a lot of other poems cannot have. So these poems written from personal experience that we encourage people to write. The competition started 6 years ago. As I say, it's called the local poem competition, and we at United Press decided on the winner. We picked the winner in this one, and we've had poems which are of different subjects, different themes. I mean, the winners that we've had in the last 6 years, we've had a poem about village life, one about a river, one about local history, and one was written about 2 cooling towers. And the funny thing about that one, that was the winner 2 years ago. That was written by a guy called John Ellinger. It turned out, we didn't know this guy at all, it turned out that he was actually Sir Christopher Ball. So the winner of this year's competition is in elevated company, in that it was won by a knight 2 years ago, this competition. Anyway, this year's competition, let's move on to that. The winner of this year's competition is Pamela Griffiths of Sheffield. It's funny that we've, even though the competition's been running for 6 years, this is the second winner from Yorkshire. A lady from the Rotherham area won it 4 years ago. And we have had winners from all over the country in the 6 years. The competition has grown and grown, and we now have many thousands of entries. People are allowed to submit 3 poems of up to 25 lines now, it's gone up. And the entries are about so many different things. People write about their loved ones, they write about their hometown, they write about home issues even. But this year's winner, written by Pamela, is a very traditional, rhyming, evocative poem, and it's one of those poems that tells you a lot about the way English people think about their country. It's a poem about rural life and life in a rural village of Loxley, and I'm really pleased that Pamela's won. Pamela herself works for the NHS, and she's been writing poetry ever since she picked up an entry form for one of our other competitions in her local library at Hillsborough.
Yeah.
And that's about 10 years, is it?
It was in 1999 I checked.
12 years
It was in
ago.
the publication Echoes of
And
Life.
her late husband Clive encouraged her to get involved in poetry. And that's the only reason why she ever wrote poems. So Pamela is a typical example of the success of this competition. It gives me great pleasure to say that Pamela is this year's winner, and I will ask my wife Carol to make the presentation of the cheque for £1,000 as this year's winner, and the really nice little
I might have to get to the back of it.
our worthy
That's took that. It's not doing much.
It's already took it for you, love.
Right, well,
Has it?
well that's the photographer of the local papers. To do one with Linda on. How do you want them? I think we're ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, we'll leave the table here.
Yeah, you leave the table. Just one of across the
Sorry, am I?
It's all right, love. No, you're fine.
Oh.
I'll do one without and then
That's brilliant.
we'll stick you in the middle. Okay, right, looking straight toward the beach, Cam. Nice and happy. And there. And again, keep smiling straight to me. Lovely. And there. Look at me. Okay.
I want to get one with the librarian.
Okay, that's right. This one's it's
You've got one if you want them in.
yeah. Okay, nice and happy again. Big smiles. Just tip the frame forward because I'm just getting that's it. Just getting master reflection on it. Good. Nice and happy. And again. Lovely, thank you.
You've got to read it for us yet, Pamela. Pamela, you've got to read it for us after this. Pamela.
Right,
There's a lot of old saying just delete them.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
It's
No,
a bit different from mine.
No,
I
it's-
keep taking them thinking it's not true.
no, it has
Just mine
actually.
clicks.
Yeah, you can hear it make a noise, but once it's gone
Oh,
off.
you've got that as well.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, that's right. Stitchy, isn't it?
Mm. Only just getting used to it. We've had it a couple of years, but we don't use it very often.
Can you give me your number then?
The phone number
Yeah.
is Sheffield 2205 228.
Yeah.
And the house
She's going to read.
So you can't do it today or tomorrow? You could do it.
It's a bit late on today.
It'll be dark.
Probably. It's not that.
Five,
It doesn't stop light long enough, really, does it?
Can you?
If we could make it for Saturday, that would be
Saturday.
better.
Well, I'll get somebody to give you a call.
Right.
Because obviously I'm
What
not in
about
the office now.
that particular picture you've taken?
That'll probably be in tomorrow or the day after.
Tomorrow or the day after?
Yeah.
You could do me a favour and buy me in it.
Right.
And we'll try and sort out and get lots of it.
Okay.
So that's what it's all
I think Pam wants to order 100 copies.
about. As many as we can sell.
There'll be a few, actually.
Right.
Do you mind if I've just taken that
Oh,
one?
I'm next.
Isn't it cute?
Right, I want the check.
Okay. Do I hold on to anything?
Yeah, try and hold on to everything you
Linda,
can.
what's your title?
She's lending service officer.
Lending Services Officer.
Yeah. And
And also United Press.
oh, thank you, Clara.
Carol with an E.
Carol with an E. I was just going to say, you learn in this game. With an E, without an E.
Yeah.